Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee from Skill Builder, and I've just dropped in on site to see our old mate Robin Clever, who has been for the past year or so, I reckon for a year he's been working on this fantastic old stable building, and there's loads and loads to see. I really wish we'd got here to see the work going on, but it was a little bit too far to keep coming and going. So we're seeing it really in its finishing stages, in its full glory, but I'm sure you'll be interested to take a little tour around with Robin and myself to see what he's been up to.
So welcome to the hallway. This is the new hallway. This used to be the sitting room, but prior to that, this was a stable. Yeah. Stable, which is rumoured to have been owned by Lord Lucan. This is part of the estate of Lord Lucan. And so it's got a lot of history, but the building itself is absolutely amazing. So the structure itself for a stable was better than most domestic houses of its day. I mean, you've got a really thick, brick and a half thick wall. All the exterior, the roof structure was amazing. It was made up of a series of queen post trusses all the way through. Great big high ceiling, all of pitch pine, all tongued and grooved. So there was a massive ceiling height of about 3.7 metres. And so you can imagine the horses used to be bought in here. It was all stables. We had a massive brick floor all the way through, and then it was divided up. In about the 50s or 60s, it was sold and made into a domestic residence, but they didn't do a really good job of it. They sort of like left the original trusses in, they didn't use the roof spaces. They dropped down suspended ceilings, they ran everything through that. It was a bit sort of Heath Robinson. Everything inside was a 3-inch clinker block wall, and basically it didn't serve its form. So when we took it on to demolish the buildings that they'd added on the back, which was sort of 70s, 80s and 90s, and rebuild a 17-metre wide extension, which is fairly big. It's like having 4 terrace houses next to each other, 9 metres deep, and it's all break fronted as well. We carried on the construction, so we've got an amazing handmade brick here, and we had that made again by Michelmersh, a brilliant brick company we always use, and we've completely replicated the facade of the building to the back. We've got about 3,000 square feet now, so it was around about 2,000 square feet before, and what we've done here now is we've gone into the roof spaces, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute, and prior to that it was just a massive timber work consisting of the big trusses which support the clock tower, which is the best part of 20 tons, and what we've had to do is form a steel frame all the way through the building. We've had to put these massive walls in here, which are basically a 9-inch concrete block wall with a proper foundation underneath, and those walls go all the way up right into the apexes of the roofs. So coming through now, this used to be a maze of rooms in here. This is now going to be like a living area, and we've maintained, so these 2 windows were in one room, this window was in another room. There was huge walls going all the way through which were doing the support. We've had all of those out. Right where I'm standing here, there used to be like an alley that linked through to the rear, because this is a landlocked building, and we've had to take another 9-inch wall out here, chimney pressed, a massive chimney breast here which went right the way through, so basically to form these large open plan areas. So there's nothing that's been left apart from the front wall as you see it, the party wall here, and a little bit of the existing rear wall, and then we've obviously cut through the rear wall to go into our new area. This is all new work from here forward, and we've formed a plant room. We love our plant rooms. Give you a little look.
This is a bit of plumbing porn for me.
Yeah, this is Vaillant Ecotech boiler, big enough to do the whole house, believe it or not. They're so efficient, yeah. But combine that with a really good underfloor heating system for all the new areas. We've got a liquid screed, we've got 120 mil of insulation underneath the underfloor, and so with the liquid screed you get 30% more output than you do with a sand and cement screed. It's a little bit more expensive, and the drying time is quite a long time, and a lot of floor layers who are going over the top. As soon as you mention liquid screed, they're like, oh no, we have trouble with this. But generally speaking, if you get it in at the right time, you dry it out properly, dehumidifiers, good ventilation, it's fantastic stuff, and it's really strong as well. So this is the kitchen dining area. Nice big area. Just a standard-ish kitchen, nothing special. We've got 4 lanterns up on the roof here. And these are a great product because they're thermally broken, they're aluminium. They, unlike a lot of metal or plastic roofs, they have big sections. These sections are much more similar to a timber lantern. I was looking for something in particular which was cost effective to a point without being cheap, but equally I really wanted it to be firmly broken because you get a lot of condensation around these things if you can't get it right. What I've got here is a stair tread, believe it or not, and these were machined from 300 by 150 beams which we cut out the roof. And I was with the client and we were talking about the staircase, and we were going to have oak treads and risers, and we were having issues finding a supplier for different elements of the stair. And he said to me, well, can't you make the stairs? And I said, well, of course I can make the stairs. I can make stairs all day long. I said, but you want your house back. If I make the stairs, it's going to hold other things up. But they're great people. They said, no, we'd rather it was done by you, which is great, which is fantastic. So this is, even after 13 months of being here, I'm still enjoying every day I get here, you know. So we've got bedrooms. This will be a bedroom. We just
lovely daylight in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we've got a big bank of cupboards we're making to go across there.
Okay.
And then we've got a Jack and Jill bathroom off the hall. So it's like a family bathroom. So you can enter from both sides. So I can lock this one off. And there we have it. So, but what's been nice about this job is that this is another beam out the roof.
Yeah.
The feet on the bath, although these aren't the actual ones, these are my temporary ones, they're going to be made from the beams out of the roof. And even as a bathroom, it's quite generous size, but we've also put a bank of cupboards in here. So you've got loads of storage. These are made by a factory which specialises in making panels of any description. Now they've got amazing setup, again CNC. They've got drilling machines, they've got big edge banders, so all this material, I choose which material, I choose how I want the configurations, how I want the drawers. It's all like a Blum Blue Motion drawer runners and hinges, so it's really good products. They make all the doors as well, so they make shaker doors in any size for me. They're really cost effective, but the quality is fantastic. Yeah, we've landscaped the back garden.
So that was rubble last time I came.
Yeah, and so we've done a massive terrace.
Yeah.
80 square metres of limestone paving.
What's that pallet with all the tiles on it there?
Those roof tiles are what we took off the main roof when we built the barrel vaulted dormers.
Okay, and I'm guessing you're going to build some structure out there and...
Yeah, we're going to build a shed out of there with the timber that we took out the roof, and we're going to use those roof tiles on it as well.
Excellent.
So this is the kind of thing which I like to sort of add to our projects. So instead of just leaving this as a sort of something you couldn't access, we've got Clockworks in here, which was made by the same business as Big Ben.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's got a lot of history. So I've managed to make this out of all the old beams again, and it's like a spiraling ladder, and it's really comfortable to walk up. I was surprised actually. And when you get up here, there's ample headroom to get to the Clockworks. And then above here...
Oh, look up there, yeah.
is a bell.
Isabel.
Yeah, we call it Isabel. No. So this Clockworks, this is the original Clockworks, this was originally 2 metres down, and I've had to take it apart, move it all the way up, and it's got 100 kilos of weights on one side and about 70 kilos on the other side, which do the mechanisms.
Blimey.
And then out of the top of here is a rod which connects to the clock face, and that's how
you tell him it's still working.
it's still working. But what we've got is an electric unit which is going to go above now, because to manually wind it up.
Somebody winding this up every day, they're not going
Yeah,
to do it, are they?
and it's an antique, so we don't really want it to wear out. So you're coming into one of the rooms made out of the roof space. So originally this was a series of trusses. Every 2 metres there was queen post trusses. So to enable me to take everything away, we put a series of steelwork in this floor. Then we used a parallel flange timber joist, which is the one with the metal connectors on the side. Some people call them eco joists, but I think which do good spans. Yeah, it's probably, but Gangnail do them as well. And they're great products, strong, light, do big spans, get all your services through them. There's no creaking. This is the new addition on the back. You can see the clock tower, and then we've built these dormers, again in a render, with these barrel vault roofs, which just gives it a little bit of interest. You've got features here, so you've got the handmade bricks here, you've got the black pointing to match the existing pointing, then we've got a render, but we've got a monocouche render here, so coloured render. And then the roof itself is, I made it from a truss system to do the spans, but then we pitched the perimeter to match all of the rest of the buildings with the rafter feet. But what I really like to do as well is where we've got like a section here, everything's perfectly spaced, and even our valley rafter, as we come through, we cut the inside so the actual gutter comes into it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so the hip, I mean, this is, you know, we're really fussy about, you know, making it all dead straight, but that's, again, you know, just years of being fanatical about it.